Hello everyone and welcome to Kaos. Today I am doing a Kaos review. So Kaos is a very interesting distribution for Linux. It is only 64-bit, so you can only have a 64-bit system and it only uses 64-bit libraries. What that means is things that are dependent on 32-bit libraries cannot be installed in Kaos. So Steam, because it's reliant on 32-bit libraries, can't be installed. And then if you're a developer and you want to do Android Studio, in order to get Android Studio up and running, you have to build all the 32-bit dependencies yourself on the 64-bit system and build them as a 64-bit. Now, I can tell you from experience that's pretty hard to get going. But I'll leave that at that. So right now, this is the very first run through for Kaos. So whenever you run Kaos, the interesting thing is it'll take you through about 6 or 7 windows that are all about customizing. So this isn't the normal background. The box came up, it asked what kind of background I wanted to use, it asked what kind of theming I wanted to use, it asked what kind of application launcher I wanted to use. And then at the end it applied all those settings. So with this being a new distribution, we're going to go ahead and run Octopi. So Octopi is the graphical front end for Pac-Man. So everything is synced, so we're just going to hit upgrade. 7 packages need to be upgraded. We'll just hit run in terminal, type in my password, and then it opens up the console because I told it do it in terminal. It wants to replace, yes, yes. Now you don't necessarily have to do it in the console. You can tell it to just run and it'll run in the graphical back here. I typically like to run it in the console, that way I can see what happens in case one of these has necessary issues. I can see what's going on in the background. So like you can see where it calls Pac-Man and all the other things it uses. Alright, so now we are updated. So while we're on Octopi, so these are the packages that are in the distribution itself. If you click on the little alien, the alien is a KCP tool. So these are special user-built packages. Now if you've used Arch, if you've used Manjaro, if you've used anything that uses Octopi, you'll know this little alien as the AUR. It's different in Kaos because Kaos is its own built system from the ground up. So the KCP is user-built programs or applications that you can install. And we'll get a little bit more into that going forward. So right now in my browser I have Kaos, a lean KDE distribution. Now what it means by lean is it means it's only 64-bit. They have a very interesting idea of a KDE distribution that only uses 64-bit libraries. So it does not install any 32-bit libraries, meaning you cannot run Steam, you can't run Skype, you can't run anything that is dependent on 32-bit only libraries. Right now I think the latest build is the November build, but I can't remember if it was the final build that Dim released. And Dim, if you don't know, is the main maintainer of Kaos or the main community spokesperson. Not 100% sure, but he is the one who updates all the status on Google+. So Kaos follows the latest innovations, always shipping the most up-to-date there is for the Plasma desktop. So Kaos is very KDE Plasma centered. They like having the very newest, just like how KDE Neon has the newest, Kaos has the newest. So the idea behind Kaos is to create a tightly integrated rolling and transparent distribution for the modern desktop, built from scratch with a very specific focus. So that very specific focus is KDE, Qt, and 64-bit. So it targets users who have tried many operating systems, distributions, desktop environments, and have found they prefer a distribution that uses all the available resources to work on one DE to make that the best it can be. And let me tell you, they do an absolutely great job of this. Kaos has limited repositories for many users. The options available will be plenty. When that is not the case, one of the reasons why Pacman was chosen for Package Manager comes into play. It offers about the easiest solution available to build your own packages. So, Kaos Community Packager, that's what KCP stands for that we saw in Octopi. So if we click on the KCP, it will show us the different applications that are available in KCP. So what this is Kaos users maintain set of files to easily build extra packages. So if you were to install one of these from the KCP using Octopi, it is actually the user-based. Just like how the R is the user-based applications, the KCP is the Kaos. And one thing that people kind of get confused with Kaos is they want to call it an Arch distribution because it uses Pacman and it uses Octopi, but it's not. They built it from scratch. Every single bit of it they built from the ground up. They just prefer using the Pacman package manager. The only thing they care about is having the most current KDE, the most current 64-bit libraries. They completely strike all the 32 libraries out, which can make it difficult if you're a regular user. If you're a regular user, there might be applications that you typically would have that you cannot use. I already told you Android Studio is a no, Skype is a no, although they do have it set up in here where you can where you can go to Skype, which will actually be the web-based Skype. So as you see, Skype for web, it'll take you to the web Skype. You can sign in and use Skype via the web-based Skype. So now that we've kind of walked through and looked at what Kaos is, let's see what is on the distribution. So let's see. Here's your favorites over here. Then you got recent applications, recent documents. Development, it has Compare, Qt Assistant, Qt Designer, Qt Logistics. Education, Science, it's got KDE Marble. For games, it's only got KPatience. Graphics, it's got GwenView, Krita, Ocular, and KRuler. For internet, it's got FatRat, IM Contacts, KDE Connect application, KDE IM Log Viewer, Quassel, Kubezilla, C-File, and Skype web browser. Multimedia, it's got Cantata, which is the music player. And I kind of like Cantata. I've used it mostly with my Kaos distribution that I was using. And it's a pretty interesting music player. K3B for burning discs, Komoso, this media player, then Simple Screen Recorder, media player, let's see, Office, it runs Calligra and Ocular for PDFs, and Plan Package Handler. You got your system settings. Inside system, you got Dolphin, which is the file browser, the Info Center, ISO Writer. Some of this stuff is mostly all of this is everything you would typically use in a normal KDE distribution. Utilities, ARC, HP Device Manager, ISO Writer, Captan, Kate, KCare Select, KGPG, KWrite, Spectacle, Sweeper, and Vim. So if we go back over here to System and we go to Info Center, Info Center is going to show that we are using KDE Plasma version 5.8.2, and this is the 2016 distribution. It will show frameworks 5.27, Qt 5.7, and kernel version 4.8.6. So one thing that I want to do real quick is I'm going to open Octopi again. And we're just going to let it sync again, make sure we're completely updated, and we are completely updated. For some reason I thought it was running 5.8.3, but it looks like we're still on 5.8.2. So I wanted to show you, if you go in here and you install GIMP, look at the version number, 2.9.4, which is not what most distributions have right now. We're going to go ahead and install it real quick, so I can show you what I mean. Alright, GIMP is set up for install, and we'll just go ahead and run it in here. And as you can see, every single package that is downloaded and installed is the 64-bit version. Kaos is very, very against using the 32-bit systems, but they have a point. I mean, 64-bit's been out for more than 10 years now, but we're still using 32-bit libraries. I think that's part of their philosophy, is why are we still using such old architecture when we have all this new architecture? I would say probably the most is having to rebuild all the old 32-bit libraries just so that we would be in a 64-bit world. So command finished OK. So we're gonna go ahead and run GIMP. As you see, this is not the typical GIMP splash screen. And then we see right here, unstable development version. So Kaos, along with wanting to be the newest and the most updated, also uses some applications that are unstable and development versions. Let's see. We'll go ahead and go into system settings. System settings, everything works pretty much how you would expect. You got workspace themes, color, icons, application style. Everything on here is what you would typically see on any KDE distribution. So there's nothing super special in here. Now, personally, I would love to just have Kaos as my normal distribution. The only problem for me is there's certain apps that I am fond of, that I like, that I just can't get running on Kaos. Getting Android Studio set up on Kaos is kind of a pain. You have to find the libraries, you have to compile them, you have to put them in the correct place, you have to do a whole lot of legwork just to get it going. And that, for me, I don't have the time to sit there and do that. I'm probably not what you would call advanced enough for that right now, but some of it comes down to laziness, I guess. And, you know, I have a wife and 2 kids, so I really don't have as much time to sit here and play with it as I would love to. I will say the community is very driven on, if you continue to ask about 32 apps, like if you continue to ask on the forums about having Skype work, it's completely against the Kaos theory of being 64-bit and leaving behind a 32-bit world. So the community is a very good community. Google Plus, Dim, the maintainer there, he posts often whenever there are updates. All in all, Kaos is an awesome distribution. If you need the 32-bit libraries, if you are a gamer who uses Skype, this probably is not the distribution for you. If you are a developer, absolutely, this would be a great platform for you to develop on, unless you are developing 32-bit or using 32-bit libraries. But this distribution is screaming fast. It takes out all the fat of all the 32-bit libraries. This has nice, compact 64-bit libraries. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, please like and subscribe if you did. Thank you.